straight. I'll get lost straight. So
Okay.
I send the login yes.
So but log out and okay, send this.
WhatsApp.
Okay. Because the minimum she host.
Ni ma send this anything.
Then my one does see my one does okay, no, okay,
because if there's anything that you should hold back from doing, it's from punishing someone like Lieutenant Colonel Denman. The second thing it tells me, rather reminds me, is how important the lines of authority actually are, even within the executive branch. We have never had a system.
No, mo fẹ́ ṣe yìí.
Password yẹn gangan mo need.
Ni ma send this anything.
Justice. So even within the executive branch, there's some lines that are very important. The third thing, though, that it calls up to me is a memory of what purges are like, because that, of course, is what is happening. People who refuse to toe the line, a line of fiction, a line which said that Ukraine plotted against the United States and not Russia, a line that said a server was in Ukraine, which has never been the case, a line which said that Ukraine was corrupting us when we were trying to corrupt Ukraine, in fact, under the Trump administration. A line which was false, a set of statements which were clearly false and which Republican senators also know to be false. That you don't follow a line like that and then get purged, that's what happens in authoritarian systems, or rather totalitarian systems.
And just add in what else is playing out this past week within the Justice Department and in the Roger Stone case, in which we now have 4 prosecutors who are part of that case who have withdrawn from that case. 2 of them resigned from their office altogether after they were undercut after giving their sentencing recommendation. They were undercut by senior members of the DOJ after the president publicly complained about the sentencing that they were recommending. In fact, he's a friend of Roger Stone, and he clearly showed how he felt the outcome was unfair. That was according to him. What implications could this have?
Well, there are 2 major ones. One that we're already beginning to forget is just how deep and long-lasting the consequences are when a foreign power plays around with American elections. So people like Roger Stone, or for that matter, Mr. Trump, who is both involved and is a beneficiary, are naturally going to be affected by the fact that a foreign power was involved. The fact that Russia mattered in 2016, that Mr. Stone helped Russia to matter in 2016, that Mr. Trump did as well, affects what they do in 2020 and for the rest of their lives. So this is one more argument for trying to make our democracy sovereign rather than something which is open to international money and international influence. But the second and even more important implication is that this is a direct attack on the rule of law. The basic idea of our whole legal tradition is that law comes before the individual person. And the more power you have, the more you have to respect that principle. If you're in Mr. Trump's position, what he's done is the very last thing that he ought to be doing. And this is a basic principle of our system. Without the rule of law, nothing else is possible. All the other values, people, Republican, Democrat, whatever they might be, say are important.
What role does the media play? Because we obviously have to determine what is news and then amplify that to make sure the information gets out to public. Are we partially to blame? And what do we do about that?
I think that the basic problem we have with the media is that we don't have enough that actually search
loadouts now.
what we don't have.
And that's the problem. But only claim it. You can claim the whole for the person. That's the problem. People have the phone me what the blogging has come from Washington.
Polarizing debates where everything seems obvious in media. So I mean, the big media has made some mistakes. Of course, treating everything as about personality makes things easier authoritarians. But our big problem with the media is that we just don't have enough facts.
Well, and at this point, it also feels like the facts and the truth doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't break